Good evening, Year 10. We're looking at creating a short clip that explores layering film in Adobe Premiere with a focus on water as our element. This is the 1 15-second clip that we use to make for our 1-minute clip that explores the elements. The clip that you just saw was my final example, and I intend on showing you how to layer and create that film. This is building on knowledge you have on effects that we've done in previous classes, as well as keyframes that we've also done in previous classes. So building on that knowledge already, we're going to create that clip now. So over on my left hand side, we've got the 4 clips that I intend on using. First of all, because I know I'm going to be using these 4 clips, I've only got 3 tracks over here in my sequence. I'm going to add another track. So by right clicking in the sequence frame, we have our options. Okay, I'm going to add just the 1 track here, and you'll see that it comes up as V4. So V1, V2, V3, V4 are the tracks, the layers that we are making use of. And to begin with, I'm going to add one of my clips to this, just to start that off. So I'm going to work at a fair pace after I've started this. So I'm going to show you one clip, and then I'll speed the video up so that you can see how I work and what I do. But basically it's following the same processes. I'll explain this first one, but then following that I'll probably speed it up and stop at points which I find are important. So first of all, I'm going to take under the umbrella. Okay, there's the clip. Okay, very quickly. Alright, just a case of the little clip, and the umbrella that I have is blue, the green, the water, all quite nice. So I'll take this clip and place it over here. And already I can see that the clip doesn't remain the same. I'm going to say keep the existing settings this time because I like the frame rate that I want to use in a minute, and I'll show you why. I'm going to click that there. You'll see it comes up yellow on the bar here, but we'll render that shortly and make that green, which is all ready to go. And to begin with, the clip's a little bit shaky. Okay, I'm looking for where the point of the clip becomes clear. Okay, around about there. The rest of the clip I maintained the camera to be still, so I'll use that in the clip. So I'm just going to cut that, put that down here. Okay, I'm going to choose my arrow tool, click on this one, get rid of that guy, and then I'll get rid of this ripple by bringing that to the end. The first thing that I want to actually do here is click on this, and I want to make that I want to make this go for the 15 seconds. So what I want to do to make that look sweet is actually extend the whole clip to be 15 seconds. And to add that, I'm going to add a little effect to this clip as well. I'm going to remap the time. I'm going to go to Effects. I'm going to choose my video effects. I'm going to go down to Time. There's a nice little effect called Posterized Time. Now this, when you're remapping the time of the clip, this becomes quite handy. So I'm just going to double click on that. Okay, open up my effect controls, and we'll see that the Posterized Time effect has been added. Alright, now if I change the frame rate here, I'm just going to crank that up to 99, just so that it is the entire amount of frames possible in this clip. This is actually 64 frames per second, not 30 like it suggested. So when you're remapping, that just makes it run a bit smoother. So to do that, I'm just going to render this. Alright, so that effect has happened, and it's not as long as I want. I want this to be 15 seconds. At the moment, it goes to 7. We can see that there. I'm going to retime this. So right click, retime, speed duration. I'm going to change this to 15 seconds. Now that's going to do something also to the sound. It makes it lower. It goes to the same amount of time, but it's going for 15 seconds. So I'm just going to actually flip this over. I'm going to render it. Now what we can see is that the movement of the clip is actually, it's a clearer frame rate because of that posterizing at the time. If you didn't do that, it just becomes a little bit static and a bit jolty, so that just fills in extra gaps for us. Okay. The sound itself, still quite nice, but I'm going to leave that as my base layer. So now what I want to do is actually finish the rest of the clips. So first of all, I want to take my clip, I'll go back to this. In this case, I might just speed this up to get it there. So what I've done here is actually played around with adding the footage that I have of a leaf. Okay, I started where it was clear, ended that there. And what I would like to do is interact this with the bottom layer there. So just to recap here, I click on this clip, I have my effect controls, I go to my opacity, and I have the option here to see what I'm doing. So what I can see here is the layer of the leaf that I want to change. Now, linear light is a nice one for this particular case, and you can see that it just comes over. Now, I don't want that to resume as is, so I know that I want to add an opacity keyframe. So dragging this over, I have my keyframe over here that I can first of all toggle on. So when it's lit up, it's toggled, and we'll see here that the little diamond comes up. I'm going to fade it in to from 0 to 100%. I'll do that in a minute. And fade it out again in the duration of the clip. So that right about there, I can still see it on the keyframe there. Now I can move this back and I can see that I need to make some changes. So going back to this one, make that 0%. Scroll up to this one and we can see the fade already. It's not rendered yet, so it's still a bit jolty. That's 100%. I'm going to go over here and I'll say that should be 0%. So now this will work as a clip and it will gradually fade out. So I need to render this. Fade out. Now I actually need to make this over here. Make that a 0. So that's going to work. Render again. Okay, so fade in. Wonderful stuff. So now what we're actually going to do is add in the clip, and from this point I'm going to go a little bit faster. That's essentially what I'm going to do. Add effects, retime, cut, trim, paste. If you just watch how we go along down the bottom here and where I move my mouse, hopefully you'll get the idea. So just before we go on, I'm actually going to zoom this in. I know that's going to be 15 seconds, but I want to see what I'm doing, and that gives me a much nicer work area. So now the clip is a lot larger and I got a little bit more to work with, so that's what I'm going to work on from here. So I'm going to speed this up and I'll stop and explain things as I go along if need to, but essentially it's the same thing. Zip. So yeah, that's the clip. That's where we end up having a look at creating those sort of things, layering those clips. And the reason I chose the sunset was because it was after the storm. So the storm created rain. Rain is water, and the sky that was so golden and beautiful is part of the air. So the next clip that I will do would be based on air and the elements within that. But that's nice and neat It's in the 15-second time frame. But now all I need to do is export that, and that would end up allowing me to be part of the clip that I need to create. Anyway, hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, please ask me.